Hello everyone, how are you doing? So today I am doing just a small video to accompany your quiz so I can do some examples of what you're going to be seeing in it. And I'm going to show you first your quiz, and I have it right here. This is what your quiz looks like. You're going to have a total of 15 exercises and 10 in the bonus. So the first five, you're going to have to write the prime factorization number in exponent notation. The second part, you're going to find the greatest common factor of the numbers. And in this case, for example, you have 7 and 28. In this one, you have 12 and 36. In this one, you have 15 and 90. So do not confuse it with those other numbers. Just remember that you're going to compare just those two numbers that I'm showing you there. And in the bonus, you have to tell me if that number is a prime or a composite. And at the end, you have here that you have until November 17, the latest, to send me this quiz so I can check it. This is the link. If you click it, it's going to take you automatically to your quiz. This is our pre-algebra quiz number 4, prime factorization and greatest common factor. Again, you have from November 13 to November 17. You're going to put your email, your name, your last name. You're going to choose your grade. You're going to go next, and then you're going to write the answers and only the answers. At the end of your quiz, you're going to have a chance to upload your test so I can see all your work and all the effort that you have put there. Remember, if you do not send me your quiz, then I don't know if you're doing a correct job or not, and I'm just gonna let myself check just what you're giving me, okay? So let's go back. So this is your quiz, and let's do some exercises. I'm gonna go to my Jamboard right here, and again, I'm not using my iPad because for some reason, every time I use it, I cannot put my voice on top of it so you cannot hear me. So, but that's okay. I'm just gonna use my mouse. So bear with me as I try to do this. So the first part says write the prime factorization of a number in exponent notation. And let's do an example here. I'm gonna choose a color. Let's choose blue. And I chose for the example the number 500. I'm gonna build my tree, my prime factorization tree, and I know that I can factor that 500 into 10, where that is 50 times 10 is 500. Now I know that 50 and I know that 10 are not prime numbers, so I'm just gonna continue factoring until I get to those prime numbers. So I know that 50, I can get it if I multiply 5 times 10. And I know that that 5 is a prime number. So I'm just going to circle it. So I have in mind that that is a prime number. And number 10 is not a prime number. I can continue factoring it, right? So I'm just going to continue. When numbers multiply can give me 10, well, that is easy. That is 2 times 5. And again, 2 is a prime number, and 5 is a prime number. So I finish in this area. So how about the other 10? Just like the other one, his factors are 2 and 5, and they're both prime. So I'm just gonna circle them. And I'm gonna know that I finished because all of my numbers are prime. I cannot continue to factor any of those. So what is my prime factorization? Well, I have 1, 2 2's. So that is 2 times, I'm going to try to make a dot a little bit bigger, that 2 times 2. And I have 1, 2, 3 5s times 5 times 5 times 5. And that is my prime factorization. Now, in the extraction says, express it in the exponential notation. And this is not in exponential notation. I can simplify this. Remember that we always try to simplify. And the way that I could do this, I'm going to take another color. This would be 1, 2. I have 2. It is my base. And how many times is that to be multiplied? 1 and 2. So it's going to go to my second power. I can also call it squared, right? So it's 2 squared, or 2 to the second power, times, I'm multiplying this, 5. How many times am I multiplying 5 by? 1, 2, 3. So that's going to go to the third power. You can also say that that is 5 cubed. And that is going to be my answer. So if you have any questions on how to build your factorization tree, just write to me through WhatsApp, and maybe we can get together and practice it before you do the quiz. If not, you can also use this little example here to let you guide it. And this is what we're looking for. Just in case, this is what we're looking for. This is our prime factorization in exponent notations. Now, let's check out what we're going to do on part 2. On part 2 says, find the greatest common factor. And you know that I like to abbreviate that as G as great, C as common, and F as factor. We are looking for the greatest common factor. And for my example, I have chosen the number 80 and the number 180. Now, when you go to your test, your quiz, you're gonna see that that is gonna look. I'm looking for it. That part is gonna look like this, with a little comma. And that comma says that you're gonna compare the number 7 and the number 28. In this one, you're going to compare the number 12 and the number 36. In this one, you're going to compare the number 15 with the number 90. This one is going to be the number 18 with the number 33, the number 21 with the number 42, and so on and so on. Now, this number that we have here that has a parenthesis, I have a half of a parenthesis actually, is just telling you that that is the exercise number 6, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on to 15. So you know that this one, as a half comma, is just the number of the exercise. So there's no confusion there. So let's continue here in my Jamboard. I'm going to change the color because I'm doing number 80. I'm going to prime factorization. Yeah, I'm going to prime factor it just like I did before. And I know that 80, I can factor it, that is 8 times 10 is 80. And 8, I can simplify, right? I can look for the prime factors of 8. I can keep factoring. And that is 2 times 4. And 2 is a prime number. So I'm just going to circle it so I know that I don't have to do anything more there. But 4, it is not, so I can continue to factor it. And that 4 is 2 times 2. 2 times 2. And again, those are prime numbers, so I'm just going to circle them. How about the number 10? I know that 10 is the same thing as 2 times 5. And again, I already know that 2 is a prime number. and 5 is a prime number. Therefore, my prime factorization for 80 is 2 times 2 times 2. Oof, that's a lot of 2's. Times 2. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a little dot right here in the middle saying that that is multiplication, right? And a number 5. Now, if I want to simplify it, I can write this as 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 4th power times 5, right? But I don't need to do that because I'm just looking for the greatest common factor. So let's check out the 180. And you know that 180 is the same thing as 18 times 10. And I know that the factorization of 10, because I have already done it a few times before, is 2 and 5. And I also know that those are primes. So I'm just going to circle them. So I know that I don't have to do anything more there. How about 18? What are the factors of 18? Well, 3 times 6 is 18. So I can multiply 3. And 3 is a prime number, right? Times 6. Now, 6 is not a prime number. 6 is a composite number because I can continue factoring it. And what factors multiply can give me 6? Well, that is simple. That is 2 times 3. And I know that 2 is a prime number and 3 is a prime number. Now you would say, but Miss, what is a prime number? Well, we already have talked about this in our class. A prime number is just a number that can only be divisible by itself and the number 1. Doesn't have any other factors, okay? And my prime factorization here, we have 1 and 2. We have 2 2's. 2 times 2 times 3 and 3, right? Times 3 times 3 times 5. I want to simplify this a little bit. So I have 2 squared, or to the 2nd power, and 3, again squared, or to the 2nd power. And yes, that is a 2. Sorry, I'm using my mouse here. So yeah, doesn't look that good. There you go. Times 5. Again, I'm just going to focus on this part. So my greatest common factor are just numbers that I have on both sides of my both numbers. So I have a 2 here, and this one has a 2, so that is common. This one has another 2 here, and another 2 there. They also have that in common. Now they don't have any more 2's here. They don't have a 3 there, but they also have a 5. They also have a 5. So my greatest common factor is going to be 2 times 2, times 5. And because this is my greatest common factor, is the biggest number that they have in common, that's going to be 2 times 2 times 5. And how much is that? Well, 2 times 5 is 10, times 2 is 20. So 20 is my greatest common factor. Again, if you have any questions with this, just send me a message, maybe take a picture of something. And even though I cannot give you the answers of the quiz, maybe we can do a little example and a little review. Now let's get to their last part, and this is the bonus part. So if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it, but I do recommend that you do, because remember that I take this points and I add it up with our last work that we were doing, the prime factorization tree, and with those two, I'm gonna give you a grade. And I'm just gonna choose, and let's just see what numbers we have in our quiz first. We have the 2, the 4, the 5, the 7, the 9, the 10, the 12, the 13, 17, and 23. And you're just gonna write if they're prime numbers, you're gonna write prime. If they're composite, you're gonna write composite. Now let's do some examples of that. Let me check it here. How about the number? How about the number 3? Wait, sorry, it looks an ugly 3. So what is the number 3? Well, the number 3 only have 1 and 3. Those are his factors. Again, you don't have to write those, but you know that the number 3 then is a prime number because we don't have any other factors that can give us the number 3. So this is a prime. Let's do it in another color. How about number 6? Well, I know that 6 it can be multiply 1 and 6, right? I can also multiply 2 times 3, and that's also gonna give me 6. So because it has more than it's divisible by more than just itself and 1, then this is not a prime number. This is then a what? This is then a composite composite number. There we go. There we go. Well, that took a little bit of a time. And so on and so on. For example, we know that, and I'm just going to write them down and tell you. For example, we know that number 8, it is divisible by itself, is divisible by 1, is divisible by 2, and is divisible by 4 because we know that 2 times 4 is 8. Therefore, this is not a prime number. Not a prime number. Now, you're not going to write that. You're going to write composite, okay? Now that is a lot for me to write just with my mouse. So I'm just gonna put the C as composite. And when you go to your quiz, you're just gonna choose the answer between prime and composite. You don't even have to write it down. Let's do one more. How about the number 11? What numbers can we use to divide 11 by? Or what numbers can we use that multiplied together will give me 11? Well, I know that is number 1. What? Right? 1 times 11 is 11. Is there any other numbers? No, there is no any other numbers. Therefore, this is a prime number. I'm going to put the P of prime. Again, once you have done all of this exercise, just send it through the Google form. At the end, you can send a picture of your quiz. And if for some reason it's giving you troubles, you know you can always send it to me by email. You're gonna have my email right there just in case. At the end, there is my email. So you can also send it. And I wish you the best of lucks, okay? Hope you have an awesome day and a great weekend, and see you in our next class. Bye.